Hey, what's up guys? It's Lil Red, back with another video. Today we're going to be reviewing my favorite horror movie, Hush. So if you're looking where to find this movie, it's on Netflix. I believe it's actually a Netflix original. But the movie's called Hush. It's about a woman who's deaf and mute, who has an intruder outside of her house. It's very nerve-wracking. The reason why it's one of my favorite movies is because I like stuff that makes you think. Like stuff that gives you, something that's gonna give me anxiety. That's how I know it's a good horror movie. And that one did just that. Another reason why it's my favorite horror movie is just because it's such an well-rounded, well-put-together movie, from production, how in-depth they go in on the characters, the actors themselves. It's just such a beautifully composed horror movie. So basically the movie starts, woman's just going through her everyday life. She's a writer. She suffers from something I suffer from called writer's brain, which is where you think of a bunch of different outcomes for different scenarios, you know, and that plays a big part in the movie. So she's just going about her day, and all of a sudden there's this man outside, and she has no clue that he's even out there. Big horror scene pops up. She finally realizes he's out there, and so the first, gory scene pops up, and that's when she realizes this intruder is outside of her home. And at first he doesn't understand that she's deaf. Once she does, he asks, can you read my lips? She says yes, and he proceeds to basically let her know that he can come in anytime he wants, but that he's going to wait until, the right time, until he's played with her mind enough, And so throughout the course of the movie, her writer's brain kicks in, and she basically starts playing out all these different scenarios. If I do this, this will happen, If I try to run away, he could do this. It's just all around a crazy, mind-bending movie. Normally I can guess the outcomes of most movies because of the writer's brain, but this one had me stumped, for sure. Trying to think. One of my favorite parts of the movie is towards the end. She's sitting in this bathtub, she's injured. She's about ready to just give up, and that's when he decides that he's gonna come in. She's just sitting in the tub. You see the glass fall behind her out of frame, and you see him drop down, and then that's when she turns around and fights back. And it's just this big old ordeal, them running through the house, fighting in this room, in this room, in this room. But she just never gives up. Like she was a small woman, probably built like me, and against a grown man, with a crossbow. She came out on top. Sadly, a couple of her friends throughout the course of the movie didn't make it to the end. But in the end, I remember just sitting there going, wow, she went through every single possible thing you could think of, and chose the best outcome for her, which was to stay and fight. Because she knew if she stayed and just hid, she would probably not make it. If she tried to run, she would probably not make it. And so she just decided, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out swinging, and that's respectable. So in the ending, she did probably one of the things that I would consider the most powerful in the entire movie. Like I had said, she was a writer, and she was actually stumped on the ending of her own book. So for the ending of her book, right before he comes in the house, she sits down on the floor and types out on her computer his exact description, what he looked like, any significant little things about him that would help identify him. Because she thought, at least if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make sure they catch the guy. And I thought that was a really cool, little add-in into the movie, Like I said, they just dive so deep, and they just grip onto your emotions. So overall, This is one of my absolute favorite scary movies, just because it kept me on my toes the whole time. Like I said, I like stuff that makes you think, stuff that gives me the chills in like a mental way, not just like the gory stuff. I would definitely give this movie, in my opinion, a solid 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, just because it was such a masterpiece. So if you guys would like to watch this movie, you can find it on Netflix. Again, it's called Hush. Thank you, bye guys.